Go for it.
Child abduction, Carlina White story. More than 258,115 children get abducted per year. That's a little over 700 per day on average. What is abduction? The action or an instance of forcibly taking someone away against their will. Main points, what I'm going to be speaking about throughout the speech, types of abduction, and I'm going to focus on a special case of abduction and strategies to prevent it. According to KidsLiveSafe.com, there are 3 types of abduction. Number 1, family abduction, where a child is abducted by a relative that they are close with. And according to Quora.com, more than 200,000 children are abducted by family members. Acquaintance. The victim is only slightly acquainted with the perpetrator. 58,000 children are abducted by acquaintances. And strangers. The victim have no previous history of the perpetrator and no existence of him. 15,000 children are abducted by strangers. So I'm going to focus on the special abduction case, Carlina White. According to nymag.com, the summer of 1987, parents of Carlina White left their 19-day-old daughter in the hospital overnight with a high fever. They were able to do this because a nurse was able to persuade them into going home and getting some rest after being up all night caring for the child. And Petway, a woman who had a series of miscarriages, posed as a hospital nurse and walked out of the hospital with Carlina right in her arms. This is the bottom one. The bottom one is the scene of the movie, and the top one is the actual. New name, new face. And Petway raised Carlina as Nedra Nettie Nance and was raised in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Carlina spent 23 years of her life believing Anne was her real mother. My birth certificate. Carlina was conceived with a child and needed prenatal care. And in order to get prenatal care, she had to show proof of her birth certificate. And she asked her mother for her birth certificate, but her mother always tried to avoid the question as much as possible. So Carlina ended up going digging for herself. When she found it, she went to the Bureau of Vital Statistics, handed them the birth certificate, and the clerk could not find the records, and they accused her of assuming a false identity. This was when Carlina realized that Anne was not her real mother. She went searching for her real parents online. She called the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children's Hotline, and the center was able to cross-reference the records for missing children. Then the center reached out to Joy and Carl, which are her biological parents, and emailed the photos of Carlina. They took DNA results, and it concluded that Joy and Carl were her biological parents. Jail time. While Carlina was being reunited with her parents, Anne Petway spent 12 years in prison for the kidnapping of Carlina for 23 days. Ways to prevent any type of abduction. Make online safety a priority. Make sure kids are not talking to any strangers, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, all that. Keep medical and dental records up to date. Choose caregivers carefully. That means babysitters, nannies, daycares. Never leave a young child alone in cars, strollers, supermarkets, any of that. Talk to kids about strangers, don't take candy from strangers, don't talk to strangers, don't get into car with strangers, and avoid dressing kids in clothes with their names on it because kids are more likely to trust adults that know their names. And that's it.